Well, a few of you have already watched the video today. This is Sunday night. Dinner's ready. Oh, Ty just headed in. I was letting her finish peeing in a bucket over here, and so yeah, I'm gonna guess on the way home is when she peed her pants here, because we got a lot more oil out than we should have. If I remember right, that tub holds 12 gallons, and it was full. And I don't know, there's some in that bucket. We dumped 2 gallons of diesel down the tube and it flushed a bunch of shit out. It doesn't really do a hell of a lot to help you, but at least it gets a little bit of that chunky crap out. There's what, 3 gallons in there, I guess. Not quite. Probably 2.5. Between 2 and 2.5, I guess. It isn't quite half full. And yeah, give you an idea how much coolant we got. There is just about 2 gallons in that bucket. Maybe be 2 gallons by the time it gets done dripping. This thing holds 31 quarts. Can't say it was clear full when shit went sideways, but yeah. So I'm being very, very optimistic that we either split a liner, and it's almost got to be what it was, and it's got to be the back one, because I know it's compromised anyway. Hindsight, when you tear one down and got to do something to it, you really should just go ahead and do a full in frame. But at the time, we didn't have time to wait. We didn't have the internet to order stuff from back east on. It was go through the dealer to get shit, or go to Portland and try to get it from one of the outfits in town. And we literally, okay, we need a piston, we need rings, we need bearings. And we did it. Will I do that again? Maybe. We also didn't plan on working the piss out of this thing like we used to either, but that hasn't stopped. I mean, pulls a 15-foot freaking cover crop disc. And you all seen the neighbors with theirs. Theirs is a 17-foot. Granted, it's a little bigger blades. Ours are 26-inch, and I think theirs are 30. They might be 32s. But it's a little heavier disc, and they're digging a little deeper, but not too much. And they're pulling it with 400 or 500 horse quad track on the same ground that we're trying to do with a 165 horse two-wheel drive. So anyway, this time around she should be more or less bulletproof when we're done. I did finally finish getting the octopus off of there, even though it's only a 6-armed one. But this freaking fitting right here is so close to that you can only get a wrench on in one spot. The only way to actually tighten that fitting is to pull that out, and I don't think that'll come out with fitting in. So, somebody's better idea. We can blame it on American Bosch Focus, because that's who makes the pump anyway. And I had one, I think it was this one, had a hard time getting it broke loose, but once it broke loose, all was good. And I'm not pulling the injectors. Somebody will say, oh, you should. And somebody will say, oh, you should do the valves. Well, the valves were good last time around. We'll check them. Injectors were new a couple thousand hours ago. Well, maybe a little longer, not much longer. They were new not too long before we worked on it before. I'm just having a hard time remembering what we did with this, because, God, I hate to take that loose, because it's a lot of shit that you don't need to get into. But anyway, fluids are all out of it now, so we can get a little more in depth. I mean, we're still going to dump fluid on the ground, because as soon as you pull the head, there's always some in it. Some of that good oil is going to be underneath that valve cover too. But anyway, I'll get you some video of it tomorrow. Well, we got her bra off. Thermostat housing is just hanging there by the hose. I got to finish pulling it off, but I had to get the coolant conditioner out of the way, and freaking oil line to that's a pain because it's wedged between the shield and there, and you can't get the shield off unless you pull the manifold off. So more fun, more fun, more fun. Little things you can't remember on the way. Yeah, she still got her panties on though. We're gonna do something about that in a little bit. So anyway, and look who brought Blakely to visit me today. Yep.
Do you want to do an update on doctor's appointment?
Oh, we could do that real quick. But Blakely's headed down toward the door now, so.
Yeah, she's dropped.
She's wanting to get out. And this one had a doctor's appointment today with the new
OBGYN? No, I'm not pregnant, for any of you guys that are wondering. I'm not.
Anybody that's followed long enough knows she's got endometriosis like her mother and her mother's mother had.
We know that my left side's not working, so went to see this new one since I've had surgery for endo. And I am going to go in for an ultrasound, and then we're going to do surgery again and possibly remove my left side, essentially, is my plan as of right now.
Because the tube last time they checked things out was completely blocked with endometriosis.
And you can't, in the tube, you can't burn it or cut it out, basically. Like you can everywhere else.
Not like they can rotor it.
No.
Anyway, that's what we got going on, and that's where she was for the morning, so I ain't got a whole lot done yet because I was
That's why the
cleaning up.
babies were mad. But Tahoe ate all of his grain, and today is officially his 1-month birthday.
And the reason she's going through all those was, well, I had a coolant line that she was supposed to plug, and it was pointed up in the air, and she pulled it down to look into it to put the plug in and poured it right into the...
I'm short, okay?
Poured it right into the container. Just perfect.
Okay.
So, anyway, see what more we get done today. You all know she's a dirty girl, right? Tractor is too. That's one thing I remember was a pain in the ass is the front pan bolts. Because that's the back bolster for the axle. And the pan kind of goes to the front of it. It's been long enough ago, I don't remember what tools I used to get in there. And she's finding out how much fun it is. She's only got like 5 bolts left. I've got all the head bolts out. Valve train is off. One thing I wish they'd do on these things is...
Are you fucking kidding me?
Why don't the engineers figure a pry notch somewhere so you can get the head pop loose?
Yeah, well, engineers can suck a big old cockroach.
Yeah, she said.
Because I can't even get my wobble in there. Why wobble it? Fuck it.
Yeah.
You got a half wrench? I
Uh,
just have to break them loose and then I can do it by hand.
yeah, should be one on the other side. It's just about lunchtime and we haven't got any farther than this. What do you know? I told her she might have to have one of those. But I should at least pick up my flashlight so I know where it is later. That was one of Brooke's first ones when she was going to school. After the second set of batteries, she couldn't get it to work, so I put new batteries in it. It's fine. So it's mine. She left another one in my pickup too, but the clips broke off, which is fine. So it's in the house. Anyway, if you know, you know. It was a workout getting all those head bolts out. And she's just having fun cussing at this. And our afternoon, part of it's going to be screwed up because the vet's coming back to work on hernia boil again because, well, he's got a golf ball.
But it's an abdominal one, not not a tummy one.
It's
if that makes sense.
Kind of into his sheath.
For the love of Jesus.
He said there'll be some swelling, and there was. Well, the swelling went down and the golf ball appeared. So, anyway. That's almost full of everything, so we'll get the other soft horses out and another piece of plywood to sit the head on. Realistically, that's the only other thing we got to set on a bench for now. Until we get a kit and start swapping rods and all that stuff. But we're not doing that until we find out what the bearings look like and what the crank looks like. I mean, I can't see the crank being bad. unless we spun a bearing in the midst of all this stuff. But and then, you know, if it's concentric enough, a little polishing and maybe a 1 size or 2 size down bearing. But I don't think we had that issue. I think it's all just that number 6, which I was really hoping to get that head off and see. Dang. I'm just waiting for her so we can get the pan off. I mean, I can't do anything. She blinds me. She blinds me. Hello.
Yay.
So she got 2 bolts left, the front 2 on that pan.
Oh, and I have an appointment tomorrow.
Oh yeah, she already got an appointment scheduled tomorrow for an ultrasound for her stuff.
But 4 to 6 months supposedly for surgery. My luck though will be right in the middle of hay season when we don't have help and
she'll get over it one way or the other. So, Craftsman, half 9/16 offset wrench. I have had this for, I don't know, 40 years anyway. I think it was one of my grandfather's. Dad had one just like it. Literally used the hell out of it until the 9/16 was so loose it could no longer grab stuff. Pick up the other offset. Turn it sideways so we can see it. That one I've had for I don't know how long. It's got a pretty good offset. It won't make it in there. So, yeah, even tried that one there. Yeah, it still can't fit in there. Flexible extension. You get on it, but you can't turn it. As soon as you try to turn it, it slips off because it's bound up wrong in there and you can't get on it straight. So I had another one of these. I honestly can't tell you where I got it from, but that's the condition it's been in forever. We're going to see if that's going to work. It's not quite cooled off enough yet to grab a hold of with a bare hand. So, you know, we made her work, made her bend. I'm hoping that I'm right on where it needed to be and she can just take those 2 right out. The things I do to get you all good video. Okay. She is loving it. Now, you see where the lip is on the pan. That's the height she's going to. And I'm just thinking, why the hell didn't I do that way back when we had this all apart before?
I don't know.
But the other thing I do remember about this pan is, you see how much room it doesn't have to drop down? Yeah. You get down there before you can move it out. And it's a pain in the butt. I think it depends on where the engine's turned to. But anyway.
Oh, and I found that was leaking. You're welcome.
Oh yeah, and that fitting right there was loose. So it's tightened now. But hey, almost. Well, she dropped her panties. She looks like she's been places she shouldn't have been. And
so do I right now.
Yeah. We ended up taking those steering lines off the top. They're laying right here. I thought we did it before without doing that, but we must have done that before. But by the way, when that axle housing broke way back when, and that axle parked underneath the back axle, those 2 lines are still the ones that were on it then. These other 2 have been replaced. But yeah, lots of goo, reminiscent of the John Deere, except this goo isn't quite as thick.
Come on, you little
But,
bitch.
You know, I don't see nothing bad yet. Of course, you can't see anything yet. She's just trying to get a little more of that off. It'll come off with a scraper later anyway, but we got a lot of other
I just figured it was down here.
cleaning up to do. Get a couple of caps off. Of course,
green.
Get the head off first.
That's a green filter.
We will. Yeah, you notice that? Mm-hmm. You should have seen that. There was, I don't know, 1/4 of a pint or so left of stuff in the pan. And yeah, it was half green.
Now it's dripping green here. It has been all over my arm.
Well, What are the other ones dripping? Just that one dripping green?
It's just that one dripping right now.
Yeah.
That one's gonna drip green.
I know I can't. If I point the camera up there, it's gonna flop around, but I'm gonna take a peek up there anyway. Well, make this more confusing. I know number 6 was our original issue. Although there is green running, but it's running down from number 5. It's running down on both sides. Both sides of number 5. It's not running down from number 6. So I'm going to say number 5 liner must have give up. And the others, there's no green from anywhere. And we were just looking at the pickup tube.
I know how the fuck I'm gonna get
There's
in there.
a bolt. Can't see it, there's the tube right there. And at the front, yeah, there's a cap screw in from the front of the two cap screws in from the front. Now, I tell you, it's been a few years. I don't remember having to pull that tube out, but you have to take it out to get the mains. It's the only way because the front main's blocked by it. And all the rod bearings end up pointed that direction, so you gotta have it off. And we're gonna see how they come apart this time, because last time they are a 5/8 12 point on the rods, and we ended up having to buy a 5/8 12 point set. So we had one. 1/2 inch impact wouldn't touch it. 3/4 impact wouldn't touch it. Dad and I spent about 2 hours with the 1 inch impact, all sunk down to a 1/2 inch drive socket to break them loose. So, yeah, that'll be fun. And I don't know how far we're going to get because the vet is on his way, and that's going to take a little time. Yeah, Rennie's barking because the vet just got here. And nah, we haven't made that mess up yet. Had to go get that calf by himself and get some fresh bedding and get ready for the vet. It must have been a hell of a drive. It's going to take him an hour and a half to get here, and it's been an hour and almost 45 minutes. So I don't know where his last stop was. But anyway, I came back in here after we got done out there. She's still dribbling out that number 5 hole. It's the only place it's coming from. Finally got a spot on the other side, got a bar under it, so the head's just sitting here. Hopefully I can do this. Yeah, it's loose all the way through. So it is ready to pluck. Obviously, not going to be doing that at the moment because we're going to be the rest of the day with the vet. I would try to do this by myself if I had a cherry picker in here, but I'm not going to dig it out. We'll just use a skid steer. It's easier. And hope to God that son doesn't have to move. I'm 99.9% sure we don't have to. That's why we beat that back so you can get everything out of there. Engineering. Assholes. Even though they really, really, really needed the cubic inches up here to get airflow into the radiator, because that's the way the air goes out the front, they could have ran this up and still had almost, or they could have run it on an angle to here, been at the same point here, but leave room down here. Anyway, that's maybe the end of the video. If so, thank you all for watching. Hope you all had a good Monday. Obviously, we didn't get where we wanted to, but Ty had her appointment, and that took a while, and I still got more cleaning to do because there's still a bucket full of oil. Oh yeah, here's what it looks like in the pan. Yum, yum. Yeah, put that on your pancakes. I don't think so. So, anywho, yeah, I should leave Rainey in here, but I'm not going to leave her in here with that green puddle on the floor. I trust her. She'd leave it alone, but, she'd probably decide to walk around, walk through it, and have a bigger mess. So, anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. If I get you something else, I'll get you something else. Well, luckily, the vet visit was quick, relatively. He checked that cow out, too. Got the bum leg. And imagine Ty's not happy right now. She just took garbage cans up and just started to dump. The radar showed it was supposed to be nice for another hour because the thunderstorm just missed us to the north. But anyway, swelling, which has kind of got it pinched off, so his pee don't come out so good. So that's, a good thing in the long run. Put him on some stuff for the swelling, and he should be good to go in another few days. And the cow was actually walking almost normal today, which was good. And there she is, the wet one.
You should at least put it out there a little farther. You know how difficult it is trying to corner with that bike?
They all turn the same. Anyway, you check the cow's uterus, and both horns got infection in them, which is kind of what we figured. So she's on some meds for that. She'll get another shot here in 3 days, and hopefully that'll take care of that. And in the meantime, yeah, that head's still sitting there. And I'm debating on bringing the cherry picker up. It's buried in the barn, but I can dig it out and bring it up. It's one of those things that doesn't fit in here very well, so it got booted to storage in the barn 5-6 years ago. We bring it in when we need it. And we might just do that because, we got that fancy cart now. I got room here to put set the cherry picker in here, pick that thing up, bring it straight out this way. No screwing around, not being able to see what I'm doing from the skid steer because it would be sitting over there. So I think that's what we're going to do. It just might not be tonight. Or it might be.
You only get so long tomorrow because I have my appointment.
That's right. So. She's going to be gone tomorrow, so yeah, we'll get that thing off there tonight. But you're going to want a video pretty soon, so I'll get it started.